I thought the best way to reflect on my time here at Landmark is the analogy I created so vividly freshman year through my own self-talk, and how traffic lights are peculiarly extraordinary metaphors. Freshman year, term 1. I was lost. I couldn't attend school for more than 2 hours at a time. I was socially ill-equipped and was panicking at the sight of tests. I was suffering from detrimental generalized anxiety, social anxiety, and panic attacks. Green lights, I said to myself. Hit all the green lights. This was my way of saying, the faster you get things done, the quicker time will go by. And sure enough, it was sophomore year. Green light, a permission to proceed. Sophomore year, after an impressive set of circumstances that landed in my favor, I found myself at Landmark. My anxiety dwindled. I met new people. I was in a new environment, and I found new academic success. A light was sparked in me that no one had seen for years. I was beginning to be myself. Still, I had 2 sisters getting ready for college. I couldn't wait to be them. Keep hitting those green lights, I said, walking off the Landmark campus in 2015, and summer flew by. Junior year, things didn't slow down. New memories were being made. I participated in more clubs than ever, took on new opportunities, and finally felt unstoppable. I was focused on being the best version of me and anticipating my college journey next year. Everything seemed right. Until I realized I had hit too many green lights. I wasn't in control of how fast high school was going, and I couldn't make things go slower. A new voice kept bombarding my thoughts. I didn't want high school to end. I didn't want to leave Landmark. I wanted it to slow down. I wanted to play tennis one more time. I wanted to be on the math team. I wanted to stop hitting those green lights. Yellow lights. You must either come to a safe stop, or if you can't stop safely, proceed with caution. My junior year, I realized my light was almost red. High school was almost over, and I hadn't even come close to exhausting all possible opportunities and experiences, and I felt like I just began to scratch the surface at Landmark. Senior year. It wasn't until the spring that things hit me. I was going to be graduating. Red light, a refusal, or an order to stop. Senior year, I reiterated, why didn't I hit the red lights? But then I remembered, if you hit all the green lights, you will never appreciate the red ones. Landmark was my red light. It helped me realize that you need to stop and appreciate what's around you. The red lights, while sometimes irritating because they make you stop rushing, can help you stop and reflect. Reflect on the accomplishments you have made, the amount you have grown and matured, and how an environment like Landmark is rare and special, and not to take the people and community for granted. Now more than ever, standing here on this stage, I wish I could have seen more red lights. Traffic lights are the perfect analogy for the future. They tell you when to go, when to stop, and when to be cautious. I never realized how important the yellow and red lights are. To take the time to stop, even when you can go. To enjoy what's around you and not rush past the little things. Time is your most important, delicate, non-renewable resource. I encourage the class of 2017 to proceed with caution and not miss out on opportunities in college. Landmark students possess infinite qualities. Among them is drive, initiative, passion, and talent. The only thing that will ever get in the way of your success is not going at your own pace. Remember how traffic lights, no matter how fast things are moving, can make you mindful to take in what's around you. In the famous words of Rocky Balboa, no matter how hard life can get, take things one step at a time, one punch at a time, and one round at a time. Thank you.
Let's pray. Gracious and holy God, thank you for this day and all that it represents. The hard work and persistence of students and educators, the love and sacrifice of family and friends, and the satisfaction of achieving the long-sought reward of a high school diploma. As teachers and staff, counselors and administrators, and his family and friends. We thank you for these wonderful seniors and all they've come to mean to us. We pray you would bless them this day with joy, and in the years to come with strength and integrity and grace to meet the challenges they'll face. Please bless us here today, and please continue to bless our seniors as they continue in the next chapter of their lives. In your name we pray. Amen. Would you all please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem, and it will be sung by Elizabeth Courtney Hirsch and Morgan Fraser. Allow me to introduce to the stage at this time Mr. William Barrett, head of school, who will present the academic awards.
Good morning. This year's recipient of the overall academic award has been a model student throughout his 4 years at Landmark High School. He has been an incredibly strong student, essentially achieving all A's. These exceptional grades are a reflection of his time, energy, and commitment that he has made to his education throughout high school. This year, his schedule consisted of demanding courses including physics, economics, and pre-calculus, all courses which required him to persevere through challenging content which he accepted with enthusiasm. This student's strong work ethic and commitment has also been seen outside of the classroom. He is a member of both the varsity wrestling and lacrosse teams and has achieved level 6 status within Porterhouse. In his free time, he has been an active volunteer with the Special Olympics program for the past 3 years and is a member of the Landmark Student Advocates program. Both in and out of the classroom, this student is a young man of exceptional character, maturity, and responsibility. A young man who is genuinely liked and admired by his peers and the teachers who have been fortunate to work with him. It is my pleasure to present the overall academic award to Eric Citrani. I'd like to introduce Joe Rose, Prep Program Director. Thank you.
On behalf of the Prep faculty, it's my pleasure to offer our Academic Achievement Award to a student who only comes around once in a great while. A student who cares deeply about her education, whose effort and concern about doing exemplary work drives her forward each and every day. She has goals, she works diligently towards meeting those goals, and she has achieved an immense amount during her time at Landmark. My pleasure again to give the Prep Academic Award to Via Valenti. I'd like to bring up Taylor Weeks to present the Nathan Stowe Citizenship Award.
Someone's excited. Good afternoon. My name is Taylor Weeks, and I am the Vice President of the Student Council. And I have the honor of presenting this year's Citizenship Award, which is an annual award given out by the Student Council to an individual who is a model citizen, brings positivity to the campus, and is a persistent individual. This year's recipient makes everyone's day a little brighter and makes us all proud members of the Landmark community. Overall, the past 5 years, this individual has shown determination, kind-heartedness, and the ability to spread happiness wherever they go. They are a hard worker, spending the necessary time needed to complete their academic responsibilities, yet has also dedicated countless hours to the Landmark Performing Arts Department. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to give this year's Citizenship Award to Kara O'Neill.
I'm now going to introduce Angela Timponi and Robert Gowans, who will give out the Peggy E. Cook Landmark Parents Association Awards.
Okay, I have to get my glasses on. A little different from last year. I can't see anything anymore. Welcome and good morning. Robert and I are the co-presidents of the LPA. In 1998, the Landmark Parents Association created scholarships to acknowledge some graduating seniors who, through their positive effort and motivation, have demonstrated outstanding personal growth, both academically and socially, and have made positive contributions to the Landmark community. This award was renamed last year in the memory of Peggy E. Cook. Peggy was an iconic member of the Landmark community for over 40 years and served vital roles at EMS, in administration, and at the high school. Peggy was instrumental in establishing the Parents Association and was loved by parents and students alike. 4 awards will be given today in the amount of $500 each, funded by the LPA. This year's committee was a committee of 5, 3 parents, 2 teachers, and we struggled to decide just 4 worthy applicants to award these scholarships. So many of the applicants demonstrated personal growth and academic development. Frankly, every graduate here today made a huge journey to land here at Landmark. It's our pleasure to announce the following scholarships. Our first awardee was a student ambassador, helping other students settle into dorm life and guiding her peers. She also served as a student advocate, sharing her story and teaching college students about language-based learning disabilities or differences. The student feverishly cheered on her swim teammates while also cheering on swimmers from other schools. One of our scholarship committee members said, no matter where we go for swim meets, the student always knows everyone and makes a point to connect with everyone. Also, she participated in the Landmark Theater Department. Despite some personal challenges, she maintained excellent grades and participation. Her plan is to attend college and study mathematics Please congratulate this Peggy Ann E. Cook Award awardee, Kara O'Neill. Yeah, wait, please. Anna, our
Good
marching
morning.
orders.
Congratulations to all our graduates today. Our next recipient has demonstrated a work ethic unmatched, both here at Landmark and at home. His jobs and duties have included working in construction, bussing tables, he's taken care of horses, he's stocked shelves, he's unloaded delivery trucks, he's served in a Boston soup kitchen, and he's even prepared coal-fired pizza. All this while completing his studies and participating in soccer, track and field, and freestyle karate. He has future goals of attending college to study education in my home state of Vermont, and someday returning to Landmark to give back as a teacher. In his own words, he says, "I look back to those people in my life that have given me a guiding light, and I want to be that light for someone else." Please congratulate Michael Lee Tucker.
Our third awardee is an international student that found comfort in the Landmark community. She began her journey embracing her culture and traditions while here at Landmark. This awardee has volunteered during the summers as a teacher's aide and also for Special Olympics. At Landmark, Mr. Jameson tapped the student to interview teacher candidates. Her biggest accomplishment was being chosen to serve as a student advocate to teach college students about language-based differences. This student is dedicated, hardworking. Please congratulate our next awardee, Amira Gozriel.
And our final recipient of the Peggy E. Cook Award goes to a graduate that has attended several different high schools before arriving at Landmark. While here, she has taken full advantage of her Landmark experience. Along with her studies, she has been a student advocate, served on the student council, a tour guide, and a student panel speaker, while participating in tennis and swimming. In the fall, she will be attending college to study political science and law, with a goal towards someday working for women's rights in the workplace. This graduate truly loves Landmark and everything it stands for, and she's not afraid to let everyone know that. To say that Landmark has changed my life would be an understatement. Landmark has saved my life. Please congratulate Olivia Valenti. All right, I'd like to please welcome our first student speaker, Eric Alexander Citrano.
Hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Eric Alexander Citrano. Many of you might think that name sounds familiar. That may be because we walked past the Eric Alexander building on the way downhill this morning. You see, even before I started my education at Landmark, it had always been a part of who I am. My dad was a graduate of Landmark, and it was here that he met his best friend, Eric Alexander. Unfortunately, Eric's life was cut short in a car accident. But when my parents found out they were having my brother and me, they had asked the Alexanders, Eric's parents, if they could name me after their son. Later, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. I found myself at Landmark in an ironic twist of fate. I ended up exactly where I was supposed to be. Now, 10 years later, this place has become my home. Within the bubble that is Landmark, I have grown from a third grade elementary school student to the student I stand before you today. This place means the world to my family and me, and I cannot begin to describe the pride and honor I have to be able to stand up here before you today and speak on behalf of my class, Eric Alexander, and other alum who have loved and appreciated this place as much as I have. Earlier this year, I was in class watching a lecture by Professor Randy Posh from Carnegie Mellon University. He talked about his dreams, achieving them, as well as the challenges that stop them. He referred to these challenges as brick walls. He said, "Remember, the brick walls are there for a reason. They are there not to keep us out, but to give us a chance to show us how badly we want something, to stop the people who don't want it badly enough. Dyslexia has been one of these brick walls, but it hasn't stopped me from achieving any dreams. Of course, it's made me have to work harder, but that's all part of life. If things get hard, you have to stick with it, believe in yourself, and work harder. I've been very fortunate to have had the possibility to come to Landmark. This place has showed me that I was capable of reading, writing, graduating high school, and even being accepted to college when everything else told me otherwise. I quickly realized that sending me here was the best thing my parents could have done for me. Over these past 10 years at Landmark, I've come to realize that if you work hard enough and have people willing to be there for you, nothing is out of reach. And as I look back at all that I accomplished, I can be proud in saying that I earned it. I did what others said was impossible. Not too long ago, I remember getting tested for my IEP. Making small talk, the instructor asked me about my plans for next year. I told him what school I was applying to, and he laughed in my face. He said, "Those are all pretty good schools. Don't you think that's a bit unrealistic with your disability?" All of us up here today went up against these odds in one way or another, and that didn't stop any of you. There may have been ups and downs along the way that made us feel like we couldn't go any further, or the only option was to give up, but we didn't give in. You owe that to yourselves. You gave it your all, stayed positive, and persevered even through the most difficult of challenges. Any of you could have taken this opportunity for granted, but you didn't. You did what you had to do to get past those brick walls, and now you're here. You not only made it through high school, but you knocked down those walls, and for that, I congratulate you. Well, I'd also like to thank my parents and staff here today. Without all of you, we wouldn't be where we are today. For the senior class, our time at Landmark has come to an end. This place that means so much to all of us will become our past, a reminder of the work we have done to pave the paths for our futures. Congratulations, class of 2017. And to end, I'd like to say a quote from one of my favorite movies, "Yo, Adrian, I did it."
When I was asked to speak at graduation, I was in complete disbelief. I mean, I thought they would ask the kid with the highest GPA or the captain of the sports team. But me? A drama kid? And I thought to myself, who has given some of the greatest speeches of all time? There is Lieutenant Aldo Raine from Inglourious Basterds. There is the famous speech from Pulp Fiction. And there is the speech of loyalty from Reservoir Dogs. And I thought to myself, man, I'm a pretty big fan of Quentin Tarantino. And then I thought to myself, my mom is never going to believe this. So I kept it a secret. So, surprise, Mom, I'm speaking at graduation. Bye. And Mom, I'd just like to say this. I did it. We did it. Before I was at Landmark, I remember I was sitting in class, and I was given the task of reading a paragraph, and I remember being completely riddled with fear of messing up or anything. And I remember when the rest of my class was working on reading, I'd be pulled out to work on remedial tasks. And this was the norm for me, because that's always how it had been. But deep down, I knew that it made me feel different. All of my friends would talk about the events of that class, and I would be completely lost. And it made me feel like I was being judged, like I was different, like I was the runt of the educational litter, small, weak, not expected to survive. Every day I would get my grades back, and they would get lower and lower, and those low numbers would look at me and they would whisper that I wasn't going to succeed. 4 years ago, I joined the Landmark Stage Company, performing in over 10 plays, memorizing pages and pages of lines, and in incredibly high numbers. My freshman year, I was given the task of reading a very long monologue, and I was playing the role of a doctor, so it was, language was fairly complex. And for over 2 days, me and my director would work on it. 2 days of laborious tasks of reading it over and over and leaving parts out and having to do it again and again, but finally, I got it. And initially, I didn't believe it, so I did it again. And then I realized that I can now recite an entire page of text, something that I never even dreamed possible. And 6 years ago, this day seems completely out of reach. It was on actually my very own birthday, June 30th, that I received the news that I would be attending Landmark. It was an odd feeling to be barely scraping by in public school. I would fight tooth and nail to get, a 52 on a spelling test on words that I didn't even know existed? High school is hard, especially for people like us. We're all forced to make tough decisions, and we've made mistakes, and we've had to bite the bullet to get where we are today. We guess we've broken a few eggshells along the way, but now we begin our righteous path as products of preparatory education. And whether that path leads you to the workforce, to a higher education, or to serve with courageous men and women of our armed forces, we know what hardship is. And I've seen kids come here with a first grade reading level, and then walk away reading novels for enjoyment. And I'm not saying this war on education is ending for us. This war will always be there. It's always going to be a battle. It's always going to be tough. But you know what they say about war? War never changes. But now we have the ability that nobody can take away from us, and that's knowledge and education. But to some of Charlie Chaplin, be warned. Knowledge and cleverness can make us cynical, and they can make us work for people who make us out to be like cattle, like machines with machine minds and machine hearts. But we are far from that. We are far from machines. We are learners. We're scholars. We're students. And we're like a cavalry of different minds who help the world in any way. And deep down, people enjoy living off of each other's happiness. So don't sell yourself out. Finally, there are just a few people that I would like to thank for my time here at Landmark. I'd first to thank all my academic advisors, Mr. Frazier, who left my sophomore year, Ms. Brewer, and then Mr. Hunt, who filled in for Ms. Brewer when she left to go become a fantastic mother. I'd like to thank Mr. Melvin, who took me in as a tiny freshman, I was fascinated by the stage, and he taught me everything that I know now. And also, thank you, Ms. Hale, for teaching me a new language. And I'd also like to thank Mr. Chamberlain. Thank you for taking me through the Southwest. It was an incredibly eye-opening trip. And finally, there's two very special people that I would like to thank. And that is my mother and father, Dean and Angela Skiffington. I do not have words to describe the gratitude that I have. And this may all seem like the end, but it's actually just beginning. And in the famous last words of Henry Ward Beecher, who was a famous clergyman, now comes the mystery. Thank you. it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Chair of the Board of Trustees, Maura James.
Good morning. Well, as usual, the students are always the hardest act to follow. And Jake, I think you've made it one of the hardest. So thank you. So my name is Maura James, and I am the Chair of the Board of Trustees here at Landmark. I would like to begin by congratulating the Landmark class of 2017 and to ask for another huge round of applause for these graduates. I would also like to welcome the Landmark families who are here in attendance and applaud all of you for the sacrifices you have made to be part of this. Faculty and administration. Without their tireless work on behalf of our present and future students, we would never reach this triumphant moment. Please let's show us their appreciation. Finally, I would like to express my gratitude to Landmark's Board of Trustees, who are sitting over here, who volunteered their time, their wisdom, their networks, and their financial support in their roles as overseers and principal ambassadors for this amazing school. I am honored and humbled to lead such a dedicated and principled group of people. So today I speak for the entire Board of Trustees when I send you graduates our heartfelt congratulations, our joy in your success, and our wishes for all good luck in the future. When you came here 4 years ago, or perhaps transitioned from the elementary middle school program, you came to Landmark because you were looking for something you couldn't find in your own school district. And by virtue of the fact that you were graduating, you found it here. And coming here meant you and your families had to make some tough decisions. You left your friends. You left your schools. In some cases, your families. But you all left your comfort zones. You came to Landmark to find the keys to unlock the intelligence that is yours alone, and together with our brilliant faculty, you found the keys and opened the door to lifelong learning. So as I thought about what I might say to you graduates as chair of the board, I thought I would go to the source of all knowledge. And I'm going to have to pause here because my fellow trustees in FA have heard me tell this story before. But I went to my son, Jake. He's my third son. He graduated from Landmark a few years ago. And I said, Jake, what would the graduates and their families like to hear? And his response was, Mom, the kids don't really listen to you at high school graduation. They just want their diplomas. You are talking to the parents, and they just want to know their kids are going to be okay. So, you have it from my son, Jake. He spent 8 years at Landmark, went on to graduate from a college, worked at ESPN, and now is in media production at the Pac-12 networks, living in San Francisco, as far away as he could get from his parents and family who live in Marlin. So parents and graduates, Jake is proof, and many others who graduate from Landmark are proof of this. Jake arrived at Landmark unable to read, unable to write, and really unable to comprehend anything that was written, as have so many of the children of our distinguished board and so many of the students who come to Landmark when there is no place else to go. The faculty and administration here at Landmark become their mentors, their go-to adults, their coaches, their friends. Parents, your kids are going to be okay. So I'm so honored today to introduce a fellow Landmark parent. And he knows a lot about coaching, he knows a lot about sports, he knows a lot about overcoming challenges. And we are thrilled to have here today our graduation speaker, Don Sweden. As you all know, Don is the general manager of the Boston Bruins, our revered ice hockey team. Don and his wife are parents of Jared, who I understand is in the audience, who is a junior at Landmark, and we are thrilled that Don Sweeney has agreed to join us today. Don believes in education, and he knows how to overcome challenges, and he knows how to win. Don was a stellar ice hockey player in high school, but then he turned down offers from the NHL in order to get his college degree. After Harvard, he stepped onto the ice with the Boston Bruins as a defenseman and played a total of 15 seasons and over 1,000 games, being one of just 4 players in team history to play over 1,000 games. Amongst all-time club defensemen, he is in the top 10 in career goals, assists, and points. Don was named general manager of the Bruins in 2015 after being the team's assistant GM for 6 years. So I would like to welcome Don to the podium. And while he's coming to the podium, graduates, I just want to say, from the Board of Trustees, good luck out there. And before you leave Landmark, we ask that you come home often. Landmark will always be home and family to you. In fact, as you can see by many of the people on our Board of Trustees, a lot of us leave and come back and stay here for a very long time. So congratulations to you all.
Thank you very much. You are correct. It is very difficult to follow the students, especially when they've starred in drama. Landmark parents, I have cheated mine too, but I would concur that things have aged quicker than I would have hoped. Landmark parents, class of 2017, greetings and congratulations. I am honored to be a small part of your special day, and I would like to thank Bob Rudo, trustees, and the Landmark community for inviting me to be part of this chapter of your story. When Bob called to invite me to speak, I was a little hesitant, nervous for 2 reasons. First, I can only imagine how flattering the sports radio fans and social media would have been if they had heard I was making appearance plans during the stretch drive to make the playoffs. And then agreeing to a date that actually might conflict with the Stanley Cup Finals. Bob convinced me he had a backup plan should the Bruins have found a way to reach the finals, and he promised to keep it secret. Secondly, I have always admired people who could deliver those poignant, funny graduation speeches. Some have been known to even sing during their address to the students. Well, I hope I don't disappoint today, because I don't sing. In fact, I was probably one of the only kids that tried out for the school choir during my junior year. Graduates, you know, junior year, you're trying to pump up the extracurriculars. You don't want to just be that one-dimensional student for college applications, and I was cut. Therefore, to offset what my wife, who's here today, often refers to me as being a little too stiff, and given that I can't sing, I thought I would borrow a moment from a recent address from somebody who is funny and can sing. Now, I have a video of it. I will have to set the stage a little bit. Picture Will Ferrell in a hat, receiving a doctorate degree from USC, delivering something very funny.
I just want you to know you will never be alone on whatever path you may choose. If you do have a moment where you feel a little down, just think of the support you have from this great Trojan family. And imagine me. Literally picture my face singing this song gently into your ear. If I should stay, I will lead your way. So I know what I know. I'll think of you every step of the way.
Thankfully, they were listening. And it wasn't just a parents I'm speaking to. Process, people, passion. I want to share with you a flavor how I have learned about process. I have spent most of my life chasing the result. In fact, I hate to lose more than I love to win. I was a short order cook at age 13 at a small takeout restaurant called John's Place that closed at 2 a.m. My father was a math teacher who told me math is not a guessing game. I was supposed to chart a path, solve the problem. So he often gave me another one on top of the original problem I was originally trying to solve. One summer, my father and I drove to Boston to play the league every weekend so I could increase my exposure to the NHL draft. I went away to boarding school at age 15, and my first weeks were filled with tears at night because I was homesick, I was too stubborn to call home, and I couldn't figure out why the letters to home, with no zip code in the front of the envelope, kept showing back up my own mailbox. During the second week of school, I argued with a teacher who was also the JV soccer coach because he cut me from tryouts after just 2 days. The head of my dorm, a former Marine, my soon-to-be lacrosse coach, and chemistry teacher, who could actually pick up a test tube that had just been heated on a Bunsen burner. And he took me for a walk one day, with his arm around me, flat top, and said, "We don't do things like that here." That same fall, the varsity soccer coach stopped me one afternoon after I had been thrown out of my intramural club game to ask what had happened. I explained that I was driving down the field with the ball, and a player stepped in front of me, so I ran him over. He asked me why I got a second yellow card. I told him the same player tried the same play, and so did I. After a loss in my junior year, my hockey coach once made me apologize to the opposing coach after I had thrown a small wooden stick that the locker room key had been attached to. While at Harvard, I worked for Jack Crane at the hockey rink, where I cleaned the locker rooms and bathrooms of my teammates for 4 years. Early in my pro career, I had the good fortune of playing with Mr. Raymond Boyd. He gave the puck away one night in front of our net against the Hartford Whalers, and Ray Ferraro scored. When we got back to the bench, all Ray said was, "Listen to the crowd." And they were booing. He simply stated, "I will be trying the same play next shift." During January of the year we went to the Stanley Cup Finals, our team sat in a small establishment, yes, a bar, in Quebec City, and we were playing what we call the honesty game. I'm not sure anybody understands what that game was, but let me give you a little visual. You walk into a small bar, and there's a round table, and there are a few brown bottles on the table, happen to show up somehow, and there were chairs all the way around the table. And Mike Milbury, who was the coach at that time, he said, "Sit down, boys, you guys are going to figure it out." And he walked around the room. So we went around the room, and you had to talk about somebody sitting across from you as a teammate, not in a flattering manner. So you can imagine how the night progressed as a few more cocktails and a few more beers had flown, and it was quite an evening. And we ended up playing and losing in the Stanley Cup Finals that year, and it was the best and most humbling experience ever as a hockey player. In April of 2004, 1,223 NHL games later, I walked out of the Pepsi Center in Colorado, knowing I had likely played my last NHL game. I retired after the 2004-05 lockout, and immediately took a job in admissions at a local boarding school. In 2006, I returned to work for the Bruins as the Director of Player Development. In 2011, I made a bet with myself that if we won the Stanley Cup, I would complete an Ironman triathlon. During the finals that year, I had been training to complete the event, and every morning while in Vancouver, I was running in Stanley Park. Very, very early in the morning of Game 7, I also was the person that swam out to the statue in Stanley Park Harbor to put a Bruins shirt on the mermaid that happened to be wearing it the next year. Being the general manager of the Boston Bruins is a dream job. Be careful what you wish for. I am not Bill Belichick, and I am not Bill Epstein. Boston fans certainly have strong opinions. Watching my wife fight every hour during her pregnancy to give our boys a chance to survive in the hospital, and her strength and courage and resolve, while never missing a day in the hospital for 3 months afterwards, was truly inspirational. As graduates of Landmark, you have all benefited from the mission of the school to enable and empower their students to reach their educational and social potential. Landmark selected each of you. Landmark's core principles are reflected in knowing what they do best and how to best provide the building blocks for students who once felt overwhelmed or different from their peers. The process at Landmark has prepared you all for the next chapter of your lives. During my 15 years while playing for the Boston Bruins, I drove past this beautiful campus each year on the way to the Warrens' house for a team clam day, which had kicked off our season. We handed out milestone awards, met new additions to the Bruins family, and our own boys even ran around the beach, completely oblivious that one of them would be a very part of this campus. I had heard about Landmark, but I certainly did not come to fully appreciate the school until 15 years later. Landmark is a very special community. People impact our lives. During each full story I just told, there were always people and mentors who cared enough to teach and to touch my journey. My parents worked hard, and they have always wanted more for their kids. The varsity soccer coach who stopped to inquire me about my club game was the same coach who invited me to fall tryouts the next year and had me in the starting lineup. He later purchased tickets to the Harvard hockey games and came down and watched me play there. The hockey coach is the same person who sent me a note this April to congratulate the team when they clinched the playoff berth in the playoffs. Jack Corain was the captain of the 1960 gold medal Olympic hockey team. He fought in the war, was a firefighter for 50 years. He was a simple, tough, hard-working son of a bitch. I was fortunate enough to be in Colorado when Ray Bork finally lifted the Stanley Cup. And when I speak to players like Krug or Carlo or McAvoy, I often relay messages that Ray has quietly passed along. Technology may make all of our lives easier, but it does not replace building relationships with people. Passion and hard work is why I made it to the NHL. By most standards, I was labeled as being too small to play in the NHL. Thankfully, Jean Rattel, Joe Lyons, and Harry Simmons thought otherwise. I almost walked away from playing the game after failing to make the team in 1989. But Rick Bowness, a fellow Maritimer, grabbed me when I reported to Portland and reminded me how much I love to play the game. You must follow your passion and learn what you do best. Failure will often provide more insight in what you need to do to be successful. So please do not get discouraged when a roadblock appears. If you become discouraged, think about the long days of your previous school and remember how you found a new level of self-confidence when you became a part of the Landmark community. Class of 2017, I am truly intrigued by the traits of you and your generation's Z classmates. Your optimism, your acceptance of new technology, your treatment of others, bridges gaps that used to divide my generation. There will be times ahead where you must fall in line and put on some work clothes. But promise me that you will remember to follow your passion, work hard, and trust that positive results will find you. The most important things in life will not be found in an app on your phone, despite probably the highlight of the day being Will Ferrell. Connect with people and uplift those who need it. I dearly wish I could stand up here today and declare that the Boston Bruins will win the Stanley Cup next year. I dearly wish that I could proclaim the process of continuing to draft and develop young players and retooling on the fly will actually work. In pro sports, wins and losses ultimately define success. I accept the challenge for the job of general manager, and I hear the criticism, but I remain excited about the opportunity and steadfast in my conviction that the belief in the process of building a championship team will ultimately work. I know, my wife will acknowledge this, I have spent far too many days and nights with my head down, focused on my craft, my tasks, and worrying about the results. when I was part of good teams, our collective heads were up. We were aware of our teammates and their struggles. The best teams are built to be collaborative. The best partners in life share in wins and losses. While the head-down approach might seem safer, we get to a better place when we connect with others. Your time at Landmark has come to an end today, but the next chapter is just beginning, and you are the ones now writing the story. Congratulations to the parents, to the class of 2017, and good luck, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don. I just learned we have a lot in common. Nobody ever wants to hear me sing. Number two, you played hockey for 15 years for the Boston Bruins. I played hockey too for 1 year for a pickup team of mixed athletes at Bates College who went to the shoe shop league in Lewiston, Maine against all these French Canadians. And we would lose 17-18 to nothing. And we were the ones getting in front of them and they'd run us over. And number three, we both love the Bruins. So I get the honor of passing out today the first diploma from Landmark School. And it says, this certifies that Don Sweeney, having completed the requirements of being somebody we love dearly and given the commencement address, is granted his high school diploma from Landmark School. Now that moment we've all been waiting for, and we are going to present the diplomas to the graduates of 2017.
Seniors, your moment has come. On behalf of the headmaster, the Landmark Board of Trustees, and the high school administration and faculty, it is my honor and privilege to present these diplomas to the Landmark graduating class of 2017. Would students in the first row please stand? Jonathan Paul Ahern. Abdulaziz Ahmed. Bryn Melissa Arsenault. Kyra Monet Bailey. Christopher Eric Whalen Belfi. Ryan P. Bottas. Isabella Farah Boussard. Zachary Daniel Bowden Selleck. Grant Noble Buchanan. Gavin T. Carmichael. Antonio D. Chase. Eric Alexander Citrona. Madison Marie Coddington. Jackson Cole. Olivia May Colton. Dean William Conrad. Kevin Patrick Dalton. Stephen Andrew Henry Davis. Jake Richard Diaco. Gabriel Berenger Dietz. Christina Teresa Pauline Dawson. Ryan Edward Keene Dumont. Samuel Richard Esbenshade. Susanna M. Eustace. Samuel S. Fishman. Melissa Lynn Gaudette. Amira Gogrial. Peter Walsh Glidden. Ryan Gosselin. Katia Adele Green. Charles Michael Healy. Elizabeth Courtney Hirsch. Garrett N. Poe. Thomas Gene Howland. Alec James Hurst. Sam Karag. Henry Han Ron Koo. Brian H. M. Luther. Cameron Alexander Lane Matthews. Jacob Dunley Lotta. John F. Marr III. Bennett Austin Malvin. Jacob Robert McCaughey. Robert M. McDougall. Andrew Sullivan Devin Murphy. Lucas Nahas. Christina Patrice Nelson. Matthew Robert Nevins. Clara Louise O'Connor. Tara H. O'Neill. Andrew Denton O'Brien. Cooper Norman Azuni. Philip William Hopkins. Aiden Reed Powers. Riley Francis Prokop. Jacob M. Sagarino. Jacob Salloway. Moritz Schuster. Jake R. Skippington. Robin Hood Southwick. Owen Matthew Sonnenberg. Christopher A. Chalkowski. Addie Timberwall. Matthew Lee Tucker. Michael Lee Tucker. Olivia Rose Valenti. Rachel Kate Venuti. Julian Hayes 5. James Joseph Wall. Taylor William Weeks. Samuel Wigden. Zachary Cage Wilcox. Samantha Jepson Ann Williams. Douglas A. Wooden. podium for his closing remarks. Thank you.
Congratulations to the class of 2017. One more time. Once again, I want to thank you to everyone for being here today at this graduation. This has been another moving and inspiring ceremony representing a tremendous investment, contribution, and achievement by each person here, everybody who's in this room, and especially our graduates. Thank you to our parents, our guardians, grandparents, and relatives who have advocated for and supported these graduates for a long time. Thank you and congratulations to Landmark's faculty, staff, and administration. None of this happens without you. You are a landmark, you are inspiring, you matter, you make a difference. Thank you. Thank you to the many members of the graduation committee for bringing this event to fruition. This doesn't just happen. A lot of work went into it, and I appreciate that. Thank you to our alumni and current students for being here today. To our undergraduates, your day is coming. Thank you to members of our Parents Association and all of our parent volunteers. So many hours put into making Landmark a better and more spirited place. Thank you. Thank you to our speaker, Don Sweeney, for bringing so much energy and inspiration to our ceremony. We're honored by your presence today, gentlemen. We appreciate it. Thank you to our board chair, Maura James, and to all the members of the trustees, whether here or not today, for the unfailing support, willingness to question and challenge, which is critical, and commitment to and belief in the mission that is Landmark. Thank you to each of today's eloquent and thoughtful student speakers, Olivia, Eric, and Jake. You are a word amazing. Finally, congratulations again to the entire graduating class of 2017. You should feel proud at this moment for what you have achieved, and know that we are all proud of you. No questions asked. Each and every one of you graduating today at some point made a decision. You took a leap of faith and a risk. You changed your lives to come to Landmark, whether from nearby or far away. And some of you came here from far away. Some of you came here from local areas. There is a saying you have heard from me before. You cannot step into the same river twice, which is true, as the river is ever flowing and changing. When you all took the risk to come to Landmark, you definitely stepped out of the river you were in and then stepped into the new river for the first time. And some of you probably did not immediately feel safe and comfortable when you came here. You needed time to adjust to this new experience, yet you were still willing to come. Once here, you collectively attended thousands of classes, developed your language learning and self-advocacy skills, lived in dorms or commuted every day, committed thousands of hours to community service to the betterment of others, donated blood, performed on stage, created beautiful award-winning art, participated in athletics with intensity and sportsmanship, and as seniors, you led the school by your actions this year and through your involvement with student government and social activities. You have told your stories and educated others through student advocates. You've given tours. You've gone on school trips. You built boats, fixed cars, raised funds for worthy causes. 2 of you even built this beautiful podium. Thank you. have all worked through personal and social dynamics. On the social dynamic part, just a few. You've danced, sung, endured the walks up and down the hill in all kinds of weather, contributed to residential life, and eaten a lot of food. You even turned the dining room into a beach party last Thursday. That was really cute. Who thought of that? You can tell me afterwards. But it was cute. And finally, and I'm not a mathematician, but this statistic says something to me. 100% of you have been accepted to and are planning to go to college next year. And here's another statistic that goes with that. Collectively, you have been accepted to over 400 colleges. That's pretty amazing. So you all took a risk. You stepped into the river called Landmark. Maybe it felt unsafe and you needed time to adjust. You kept re-entering the flow of the river at different times and stages, and you participated like crazy. I imagine and hope that it feels more comfortable and safe now than when you first came. If so, perhaps it is because you are significantly stronger as individuals because of the risks you took. You took a risk, you felt unsafe and uncomfortable, you adjusted and participated, and you became stronger. So what's next? You are leaving Landmark for new adventures in which you will, by necessity, be stepping out of the section of the river called Landmark and into a different section of the river, and again you will be taking risks. You may feel unsafe or uncomfortable within some of the challenges. Ultimately, you will adjust and become stronger yet. To me, this is all very good. When I mention risks, I am not talking about risks relating to your health and safety, or that of anyone else. Not about physical health. However, I want you to know that in your new adventure, you will not have a totally smooth adjustment into the flowing river of new ideas, new people, new social experiences, new physical locations, new and different opinions, new teaching styles, a different structure, different food, and the river will keep changing. Again, for me, this is good. I do not want you to be safe in terms of ideology and experiences. I want you to continue to take risks, to enter in, to grow, to learn, to deal with differences and adversity, as this is how you will become stronger and stronger yet. Now, this is easy for me to say, but I will not leave you without some operating instructions. The key is, as you take these risks, as you venture into the river, you must ask questions. James E. Ryan, the Dean of Harvard's Graduate School of Education, posed 5 essential questions in his new book, titled, What? Wait? That's the name of the book. So think of that question. What? Wait? I hear that all the time from my own kids and from you guys. That is a flexible question that helps you clarify your thinking and that of others. It helps with listening. It is the heart of understanding. So when somebody says something or something happens you don't understand, just say, wait, what? Get more information. Second question. I wonder if Mr. Burroughs' speech is going to end soon. That's a good question. I wonder what Einstein was thinking when he, it helps you be curious about the rest of the world. Third question. Couldn't we at least, this is a question that forms a series of questions as a way of finding common ground. Couldn't we sit down and talk about this? Couldn't we think about this in a different way? That's a great question for you to ask when you're feeling a little anxious. Fourth question, how can I help? That's a question that forms the base of good relationships, shows you care and you're willing to help with respect and humility. And the fifth and final question, what truly matters? It helps you get to the bottom of an issue or a problem. It helps you get to the heart of your life. 5 questions. And all of these questions will help you navigate the river that just keeps changing. And when in doubt, call me. 978-236-3450. We'll go through the questions and we'll talk about it. That's important. Now what really truly matters is that you have succeeded, you are strong, and I speak for myself and everybody else in this room in extending a heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you in the class of 2017. There's a sequence here. Seniors, if you will now stand as a group, you may move your tassels from the right to the left. Once again, I invite everyone to stand and remain at your seats as the pipers lead first the faculty, then the trustees, and then our graduates in our recessional march.
Good.